Welcome gamers to Nebulous Fleet Command. My name is DasTactic. Welcome to the channel. This is going to be a one-off introduction video with a view to doing much more content in this game in the future. And I'll explain sort of why, the way the game works, what does go on. So it's going to be a reasonably long video. It won't really be a tutorial. I'm not really good enough in the game to be called a tutorial, but I will show you what the game does and what it's got and where it's heading as well. It's sort of quite an interesting game. It's one of these games when you start to look up the recent ratings, for example, on Steam at time of recordings, is actually much lower than the all-time ratings for the actual game itself. It rates incredibly highly overall. But I will discuss why that has come in and why, probably even by the time you're watching this, that possibly will have turned on its head. So we'll go and talk about these sorts of things. Now, certain people who have seen the game, like when I've done, like during my DasTactic vlogs, on a Monday, when I have sort of shown parts of the game in that. The thing is, it looks like a game from the 1990s. Look, it is incredibly functional the way it does work. It's like naval battles in space is the way it sort of does work. It's extremely tactical, but not very strategic at this point in time. Now, I say at this point in time because that's the really, really exciting news, is that there will be a new mode in the actual game itself, which will then actually allow a lot more, I guess, almost like a campaign progression system, I think is the goal. But they don't know exactly where they're going to take it just yet with that particular aspect. But that's really the one aspect that I'm really, really looking forward to, more so than the carrier update, which is what I'm doing this video because the carriers have just come into the game, which means we've got a whole different way of actually fighting. To be honest, to sort of present my level of understanding of the game, I understand guns. That's it. I don't understand missiles. I don't understand carriers. I don't understand the small craft. I understand guns, and that's all I really understand. So I'll show you how those sorts of things work as well. And so I've built myself a little fleet of ships that use guns because that's all I really sort of understand. But there's so much depth in this game, and I will be doing, as I say, as I get more and more used to the game, I'll start to share that knowledge through either tutorials or just gameplay, because as I say, it's an extremely engaging game. So I do want to sort of mention about what's coming as well, because that, I think you'll start to see a whole different group of people wanting to play the game. For example, like people like me, I don't like really multiplayer type games. So in this instance, I possibly would play a multiplayer game if I could find people that were at such a low level as what I actually am. But in reality, I'm probably not going to find that. So there's a few different things that I need to do. A few little things, a few little tips. If you just go into settings, you do actually have all sorts of different things in here. You do actually have where is it? Yeah, in controls. This is something, if you're a new player, I'd suggest that you do in just playing single player. If you want to pause the action and really try to understand what's going on at any point in time, and that's me in my current level, scroll all the way down, or like a fair way down, until you get to miscellaneous gameplay. And down through here, you'll actually then find that there's actually a toggle active pause, which essentially is space plus left control. Be aware of that one. There is actually a way also to then change the, I don't know if it's under accessibility, I don't think it's down in here, that's just the controls themselves. Go to accessibility, and then this is the active pause speed. Set that to 0. I think by default it's like on 25, which means it sort of just plays very, very slowly. I can't remember what the default's actually for with this one through here. But that is going to allow you to pause the game completely and then evaluate and then unpause and let things happen. It's not a fast-paced game by any stretch. Like, it is a real-time, but it's not fast-paced. So that's the first little tip I would give you. There's a first tutorial that I've done for Nebulous Fleet Command. So I won't bother applying that. I'll just go and cancel that. Other things that we can sort of notice in through here is that when you do come in, you'll have like because it's mainly a multiplayer game at this point in time. As I say, that will possibly change. I would hope. You can see down through here we've got like DasTactic with the little symbol that I have on Steam. I keep on forgetting to update that to my flaming jester icon, which has been probably for about 5 or 6 years. Anyway, there's just so many of where I've got things. It's still the old original logo that I did for myself. And then you just give yourself designations. If I go into here, for example, so the whole paint colors, you just choose those. The ship name prefix, I've just got DAS. You've got saved color schemes. I've just saved this one through here. You have got the two different factions in the game are down through this side as well. So I'll go through what they are in just a minute. And then also you'll see down through here mid. I'm rated a midshipman, which is extremely low. So I'm the lowest of the low at this point in time because I'm really not good at the game. And so as I got better and better, that will then allow, I guess, like if a game is being put together, they think, okay, look, we've got a midshipman, so he can't, we can't have a group of midshipmen going up against admirals or something like that. I'm assuming that's sort of why that is actually there. So anyway, let's just go and cancel that one. That's what we have up through that other side. What else is there? The fleet editor I've actually really been quite taken by, and I actually found that was a really good way to actually learn parts of the game. Let me show you that. There's also there's mods, which I do have one installed. I'll show you that. I'll show you all this stuff because, again, my main goal for this one is to see, are you interested in actually in the very, very steep learning curve that it would take to sort of go and actually engage with this game, because it is an investment in time. This is not a simple game at all, to be honest. It does actually have, though, in single player, if you go to single player, it does have a campaign. Maybe I'll show it. It's got a tutorial. The campaign will be coming. So at the moment, the campaign/tutorial, it shouldn't be called a campaign. It is literally just a tutorial. And so it's a series of different things. And so what we now have is we've got the Fleet Academy tutorial. So in the Alliance system of emit time, Bradford Naval Academy is the first stop in the naval careers of fresh officers, where grueling lessons and lengthy practical trials are held to shape future spaces into prime officer material. These are very, very good, by the way. So we've got these. If I go and click on that one through there and just go and go select, I've then got all of these different tutorials, and you can see I've only done 3. Because then I think, I've got to get into this game. I'm loving it. So we've got all these different things about damage control, and really, it's one of these games, because it's so complex, I'm going to have to go back and redo all these again. And it's only been a matter of weeks. It's probably been 3 weeks since I last played it, before I'm starting to record it now. And I've forgotten everything from the tutorial. And it's one of these things where it's not something you can automatically pick up again. So and I'm going to have to try to think in my own sense how I can actually get it almost like a cheat sheet. And it's probably just going to be, to be honest, the controls, and just having a quick look through the controls. What are the keyboard shortcuts that are important? Like, for example, that left control space to pause it. It's convoluted, but you'll see when you get into the game that it's not an easy game. There's a lot to it. Anyway, so we've got all these different sensors and warfare, advanced maneuvering, anti-ship missile defense, final battle problem, things like this. This is all stuff you can do back and through there. If we go to the next one, the Missileer tool. This is an advanced tutorial, and what this one then does, if we go and select that one, goes about the advanced missile tactics, target reference points, and fixed missile salvos, and sort of how to sort of then deal with these. So this is a whole other, like, it's only 3 tutorials, but it is a whole other area of the game, which I have not even looked at. And now we have the new one, which is flight operations. So small spacecraft like skiffs, fighters, and bombers provide unique capabilities to the warships that carry them. These lessons teach the basics of managing your spacecraft wings and their unique considerations compared to operating warships. Note, these tutorials cover advanced gameplay topics and are not recommended for new players like me, like midshipman me. So, but this is actually, if we go and select those as well. So we're going to have basic flight operations and carrier operations. Now, I will be showing carriers, but I'm going to show them with my little fleet up against a carrier fleet. So let's just go back in and we'll sort of get all that sort of stuff sorted. But the tutorial's very, very much worth doing. There's the skirmish, which is essentially a multiplayer game just against the AI. Multiplayer, you then actually have where you can sort of go through and sort of go into the various, the community guidelines, etc., which is great. So I'll accept that. And then we've got all these different games where people are playing. It's a very, very popular game. It's one of these games that, as people play the game, they become so attached to it. It becomes an obsession, from what I can gather. But it's got the barrier to knowledge in the game and getting good in the game is extremely high. The learning curve is extremely high in this game. So, and as I say, it's a game that I do want to invest that time into, just because I was so inspired when I did actually start to just fiddle about with it. With only doing the first three tutorials, I could really see there's an awful lot that this thing actually does bring. Again, settings back in through here, there's heaps of stuff in through there, but controls will ultimately give you a whole lot of different things you can then go and check. So you've just got your basic camera movements, E and C, move to position. There's so much that we need to do essentially with this one through here. There's just so much in this game. Like, there seriously is. So I'm just going to go and cancel that one. But that is fairly critical. Mods, I do actually have installed a mod called Perdito, which essentially is a game version is beyond this one. Warning, this mod has not been verified to work with this game version. I'm using a special version of the game just to be able to record the carrier update ahead of time. So fully procedural map generation, supports AI and multiplayer. So this is actually like a map generator, which I do like. I sort of wish that the original game had that as well. But anyway, it just makes maps, and that's going to be fine. Just go and cancel that one. The other thing to look at is the credits. I will just show this because developed by Eridanus Industries. So the director is Liliana. It's a very, very small team of actually people that are actually writing the game. In fact, it's pretty much just a one-person game. Unbelievable. And he's actually a Navy veteran, or about to become a Navy veteran. I think he's actually still active in the US Navy, and so he's tried to make it with as much realism as he possibly can with his background, and it really does shine in this game with that. So let's go back to single player. So let's go to the fleet editor now, and I'll show you how that one actually does work. So this is not simple to use, for the simple reason that you have to actually understand what's going on in the ships. And so, but I'm finding it quite good fun to just test things. And so if I just go and load an existing fleet, what I've done is you've got the starter fleets for the Alliance, the starter fleets for the Protectorate. These are fleets that gamers and other people have sort of put together to sort of figure out, okay, what sort of fleet should we put together? So you're putting a fleet together, not just a single ship. Now, you've got 3,000 points to play with when you actually go and do this one. I've just created one just called DAS, and I've got Battle Group 1 and Punisher back in through here. This one here has got a battleship and a single destroyer. If I go and click on that one through there. So we've got one called the DAS Legionnaire, which is a Solomon class battleship, and we've got a Keystone class destroyer, which is a very, very small ship. And so what happens here is, I told you I was into guns. We've got all these big cannons on the actual ship itself. By the way, this game is very much like you're playing, I forget the TV series. I think it's an Amazon series. I always forget it, and then it all of a sudden comes to me. Oh, it'll come to me in a minute anyway. The Expanse, there it is. This is very much like playing The Expanse as a computer game, but with extremely complex ship systems. And so all I've done is loaded out all these different like Mark 68s, Mark 66s back and through here, plus a whole lot of Defender point defense. Because as I say, I'm useless at missiles, I'm useless at carriers, so I need defense against those things. The Cutter has also got some point defense back and through here. It's got a beam cannon. This is the main one I'm using for jamming and radar. So the idea is the battleship goes into combat, and then the destroyer sort of allows it to be its eyes in the actual combat itself. But it needs direct line of sight to use the cannons. So that's actually really what happens with that one. The other one that I was playing with was just two of the actually I may have just grabbed this from one of the others and then sort of started to try to tweak it. I think this is when I was learning what to do. But Battle Group 01 was the one that I'll probably end up playing with in this one. The starter fleets for the Alliance, we actually have no. We've got there's a whole heap of them in through here. So this is this is pretty much what I had. I just grabbed one of these to have a bit of a play with. These do have missile launchers back and through here. These are two heavy cruiser ships. We've got another one through here with a light cruiser, light cruiser, light cruiser. So 3 light cruisers. The Hemlock is a is a heavy cruiser where all of the points have been put into the actual ship itself, the 3,000 points. The Redwood back in through this other side is the has got a heavy cruiser and then some destroyers. So you can sort of see, there's just a heap of different ways of playing them. They've all got their different ways of playing. So this is a hard difficulty to play it, for example. But they've all got different roles, like even this one here, the TF Willow. In fact, this one here, the TF Maple would be the new one, which has got a carrier. So an escort class, a Levy class escort carrier, along with some frigates. So 2 frigates along with the actual the carrier itself. And so the carrier will then actually have the various launches for the contingent that it actually is bringing on board. And so this is the Alliance, which is sort of like the military, the main military. And then you also got so this would be like Mars or one of the others. If I just go and open, I think it'll close. No, it won't. If I go into Starter Fleet's Protectorate. The Protectorate is more like the belters in the Expanse, where these are actually built on top of old, like we've got command cruisers and things. I think I've got that the right way around. These essentially are ships that have come from merchantmen, and so they build on top of the merchantman ships. So a whole heap in through here as well. They'll also have their own. There's a command cruiser. Where's their? That's okay. This one is a single. This is an Amethyst Squadron. The Amethyst Squadron is a full fleet carrier, equipped to destroy the opponent with overwhelming force. So launch halberd skiffs, positioned to provide bubbles of radar coverage, aiding your teammates in creating. So this is actually a full-on single ship carrier with heaps and heaps of various craft on board. So we can sort of pick and choose, what we're going to go up against. This one here is actually the Wolverine Squadron, again considered to be hard simply because these are so advanced. So we've got a light carrier through here, which is going to have a lot less on it than the others. Then we've got a line ship there, and a clipper, and two smaller clippers back in through that aspect as well. This one's got missiles all the way through. Yeah, so it's just interesting the way it does work. Now, that's the I won't, like the one that I had built. I will sort of show you the one I've got, the one that we'll go into. If I confirm this, it then brings it in, and again, it looks like a 1990 style game, but it's really quite cool. What we end up happening, and you'll see when we get into the actual game itself. If I sort of take it onto the side, there's all these different areas, like different compartments, and so the compartments end up. And I can go from each, the cutter is this little ship in through here. It's a tiny little ship. It's and so you've got all these different hard points on the upper area. Some of them we're not actually using. Like so that one there, for example, we're using the jammer. Back in through here, we've got a defender point defense. Another bullseye radar down the bottom there, another defender point defense in through there, and so you can see there that these take up like dimensions. So this one is going to take it looks like it's probably a 1x1. If I go and click on this is the point defense is a 2x1x2 is the dimensions it needs to take up. So I need to put that into different locations where it can then sort of make sense. Now I'm not going to spend too much time with this because it really does. It requires probably a full episode just to explain what all the little bits and pieces actually are. But anyway, I've got the point defense cannon back and through there. So these are the things that will actually then go and fit. The Mark 20, and quite often what you're going to need you can see through here the various things we have, the mounts we actually have. We've got the jammer, the radar. I've put in 4 point defenses back and through here, and a beam cannon as well. And so the beam cannon is a 4x12x4, which is so it's a big cannon if we can get to use it. But this is a very, very weak ship. We've got things like inside, we've got the reinforced command and control. I can sort of go and start, I think I can click on these things, or maybe not. I'll just go back out and just go and have a bit of a look. Yeah, well, we'll just look at the small one to start with, I think. So we've got areas like this one here as a reactor. We've got a drive for the actual ship in through there. We've got defender, point defense on the sides, so that's what's on the side of the ship. It's hard to sort of see. When they're grey, it means it's empty, but I've really run out of space. I've got 12 left over. We might sort of tweak it a little bit more if we can. This thing here is a micro reactor. So we've got a main reactor plus a micro reactor just to give us more power. Back down the bottom through here, we've got the bullseye radar, which extends up into the actual hull itself. So the actual componentry inside is quite important. Then we've got these compartments. We've got a gun plotting center, which will aid the aiming. We've got a large damage control locker, so this is where damage control in the ship will then be controlled from. Damage controlled central, so we've got the central and the locker. Then we come back down into a bulk magazine. And if I go and click on this one through here again, we can sort of see how we can then go and do things. I'll just go to cancel, but with the bulk magazine that we actually have, this is compartment number 2. In fact, sorry, that has now gone. If I just go back into there, and in this case, what I've done is I've actually given it a whole lot of ballistic chemical slugs, which is going to be my point defense cannons. So the point defense, we're only using a small capacity of that particular thing. I could go into the bulk magazine and actually maybe even use this one here. So we've got a yeah, we've got a bulk magazine I can actually go and place in there as well if I wanted to. So this is that only requires a 1x1x1. So I can place it anywhere I like essentially, but some of the other ones do actually do have like a bigger role, a bigger area that they can then sort of go and be positioned. So we've got the magazine, we've got the reinforced command and control. This is the bridge. So the bridge of the ship is there. In the front, we've got this beam cannon. So I did actually put this beam cannon in, which is like a very, very powerful cannon. But the ship has to survive to be able to make use of that. So that's the yes, and then we've got the defender back down through there. So it's fairly basic with what we actually do have. So this is a very, very basic design for the destroyer. Let's go back to the Legionnaire, which is much, much larger. We've got many, many more things on this one in through here. So we've got the main drive. We've got another drive down through there, a whiplash drive, which allows us to maneuver the ship a little bit more effectively. We've got these big cannons, and when we sort of scroll down through this list, when we get to the actual to the shells, you can see that's full. This one's full. So I really can't squeeze anything else onto this particular ship. And so we're using a piercing shell, high explosive shell, and then the 20mm slugs. So we're just bringing a heap of those in, 10,000. I just can't squeeze any more in. Like, that's pretty much it. Heaps of slugs in through here as well, with more armor piercing and high explosive. As the ship takes damage, the individual areas also then get attacked or get taken out as well. And so in this case, we've got like fire suppression systems. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff across this bigger ship. This is a much, much bigger ship with bigger cannon firepower. So let's start to maneuver this one and start to like, I won't go through the whole thing, but like, I got chills when I first opened this up, to be honest. The chills went down my spine, thinking, wow, this has got so much in it. You have to really take into account all of the different aspects. Designing a ship in this game is not a simple thing, but I wanted to just try to get a bit of a feel for what it presents, because it is just so engaging. And so even though I've done a shitty job of this, like we've got, like I've got like point defense back over through there, I really should see if I've got point defense everywhere. Yeah, I do actually. So I'm equal on both sides of the ship. So it means that we don't have to just keep one broadside facing the enemy at any point in time. So that's what we have. We've still got 12 points left over. If I go back to the cutter again, the one area that I can actually go and fill this one up is I can just change that maybe to 50, to see what that one does. Yeah, that's bringing it up there. I'll take it to, say, 60. You can see it's hardly using up any of the capacity. Yep, so we're almost there. Just go to, say, 70. We're just over the point limit now, so 65. Okay, 64. There we go, 3,000 points. So now we're not going to get through 64,000 of the point defense stuff at all. So anyway, that's sort of what we have in through that side. Then I have things like the initial formation, and so in this case, you can see there that the DAS Legionnaire is going to be the command ship with the DAS cutter coming in underneath it. And I can rename the ships if I'm wanting to, but essentially that's what that's going to be. I can then grab the ship and actually just sort of indicate where I want that to be in around the ship, just so I can position it. So I'm just going to have that sort of sitting off to the side of the ship. So that's the actual formation that they're going to come into the fight with. But if I had more ships, I could actually then do more with the formation. Missile design, I will show this, even though I don't really understand it. What this one does is you end up essentially building up, if I go to create new, I'll just go to a size, I'll just go with one of these basic sort of torpedoes. So this, I'm not even going to try to explain this, I'm just going to go and select this one through here. But you've essentially got these different components. So this one here is the booster engine, then we've got like the main engine back and through here, and then we actually have the warhead. So this is a blast fragmentation warhead, but we can chop and change these things around, so you can actually go and purpose design your missiles, which means that you can pretty much have them, like, I think you can even sort of do things where they hone in. This is actually the direct guidance or cruise guidance, and I think this one may be what it's going to then latch onto. So this seeks active radar, steerable active radar seeker. Yep, so we've got fixed semi-active radar, anti-radiation seeker, electro-optical seeker. So these are the various homing areas of the actual missile if you're wanting to. It's extremely complex. Which is why I didn't bother trying to make sense of it. To be honest, it was I thought, no, look, and so it's not just a matter of throwing in some missiles that are pre-built for you. You can do that, but you can design your own missile system and then have that loaded out. So you can go with very, very specific goals for your actual combat, which again is just incredible. The new thing we have now is a spacecraft designer. So let's have a look at this one through here. If we go into create new, and so there's nothing currently in the fleet, there's no saved design. So in this case, there probably will be by the time this does launch. But if we go in and create new, so we've got skiffs, interceptors, CWACs, and bombers. So they all do different types of things. So this is the Halberd is a mainstay of the Alliance fleets for generations. It's a compact design which can fit in hangars on large warships which don't have space for larger launch facilities. So this is a smaller type ship. The Interceptor is a current generation. Let's maybe just look at all the bomber in through here. It's current generation, atmospheric bomber. So this one here was mainly going to be sort of used to fire different missiles and things as it sort of is going through. Again, there's just so much detail in here. Let's go back to the Interceptor as an example, because that's probably just going to use cannons, which I know about. So if you just go to select, you then actually have a very simple aspect in through here. So we've got the Taranto, and we don't have any of them on the actual fleet itself anyway, so we can't really do much with this one. But I'm pretty sure fixed components, you've got the nose, the center line. I thought we could also then have other different loadouts as well. If we go to the nose, yeah, we've got 20mm guns, so again, sort of smallish type guns. Just go and throw them on because I do know about guns. Know everything about guns. The center line, we then got things, for example, like fuel tanks, missile bays, whatever else we want to actually then put on them. Now, other sorts of weaponry, we'll be able to we'll install that. So the center line fuel tank, 20mm gun, install, and so we've now got these. So now sort of starting to sort of pick up the actual aircraft itself. In the game, they are 3D models, but this is actually just sort of what the loadout is going to be in through here. If we had missiles, we then have to put the missiles into here as well. It's just amazingly good the way that this game actually does work. So but we don't have any of them in through here, so it's really not going to matter that much. But this is, you can see the complexity. What I might do actually is I'll go back out. Just go back to fleet composition again, and I don't know if I do that. I'll just save fleet as battle group number 1. Override. There we are. And let's go and load in one of the other starter fleets, because this is a good way to learn. If we go into load fleet, and we'll go to the Protectorate this time. We'll go to that one big. This one here, the 3,000 point Amethyst Squadron, and if we go and this is again a good way to learn what you may be fighting actually when you're coming in to play the game. Just go to confirm. So this is the big carrier that was actually that was designed for the Alliance, which is like the merchants. And so they've got like merchantmen back in through here as well. They've, for example, even got missiles that are like cargo containers and stuff like that. It's quite cool the way it does actually work. If we have a look and see what it's got, you can see there, these are the actual container banks for the various craft. We've got 2 different container banks using sturgeons and barracudas are the names. If we go to the spacecraft designer, we can then see what's actually on this ship. So again, we can reverse engineer what we can expect to see. The sturgeon, we've got 20 units on the ship. So this one is what's its loadout? Oh, it's got torpedoes, heavy rockets, and cannons in through here as well. So no fixed component options, but that's actually what it does actually have. The Barracuda is the interceptor, and so this one has got the 20mm nose cannon, and it's this must be what its orders actually are to sort of what it should do. So this is like the AI for it. So what does the Sturgeon do? Torpedoes. I think it may just pick them up as required. That may be what's happening. The Halberd has got a 35mm gun and an internal radar. So that's actually what this one has got. So these are the three different types of ships that have been designed. So skiff for scouting. So now it's also always going to say DAS because that's going to be the call sign. So 10 times on DAS, all reaching, all taking. So I'm not sure what that actually is, but that's going to be some sort of order where it's going to be doing different things. Yeah, no idea what this is. I've got no idea how this works. But I'm showing you and hoping that some of you also get chills when you see this, thinking, I've got to learn this, I've got to get into it. This looks so awesome. And it really is. Actually, we've got craft stats there as well. Yeah, so it goes through, what they actually are. It's just so detailed, this game. Let's finally get into an actual bit of combat so you can sort of see how this one works. So let's go in against that particular fleet. If we just go and... you got testing range as well, where you can sort of then test to see how things work and whether what you've done is going to be okay. Let's just go to the main menu. And there are a few little things also in the controls that I really do need to try to figure out. So, I've completely forgotten how things work. I'm just going to have a quick look. These ship orders are really worth understanding. Like move to position, left ship plus M is just drive it across a certain course and don't stop. Orbit a position as well allows you to sort of, like if you've got like a lame duck and you just need to keep on trying to orbit while you fire, then you can do it that way. Orbit track, I'm not sure what that actually is. You've got assume formation lead. So if we move the ships off in doing different things and we break the formation that we have, at the moment we only have to control our main ship and the other one's just going to tag along. As I say, I really am useless at this. That's important. Hold heading is a good one as well. Roll ship is quite important, and you can actually clear your heading and roll. So you can actually just go and these are all things you don't have to use keyboard shortcuts, but essentially this is left shift plus H, and I will just make sure that other one that we had, miscellaneous, it is left control plus space. Yep, okay. So let's go in and actually have a bit of a look at this one through here. So the way it works is that the ships come into a battlefield, and so they're coming in decelerating. So they decelerate basically down to practically nothing. And at that point, they then have to use their mass and start to accelerate off. So it's, quite often people say, it's not realistic in space. You could be going 1,000,000 miles an hour and, and you'd be coming from different angles and just go straight past each other. Yes. But in this case, that's not what happens. In this case, you are decelerating down to zero as you sort of hit the battlefield. I don't know whether to play... Again, there's other things you can do to actually make the game quite engaging for in single player, even if you're not playing multiplayer. Let's just go back out. Let's just go and cancel that. We go to single player, and we're going to be playing a skirmish, and we have a few different choices we have to make. Now, you'll notice that when we go to any of the maps, like Pillars is an 8 player, we've got Abyssal in through here, there's no recon in through that side there. Caltrop is 8, so 4 player is the smallest, I think. Canyon is 10 player. Now we're only going to be playing a 2 player game, essentially a small testing range, which I think is completely open. There's nothing actually in it. This is Pedito Procedural. This is the mod that I just showed you before. I quite like the idea of this one. What this one does is it allows you to build what you want in through here as well. So you can sort of set things up with the way that you want things to then sort of go and work. But I think we'll just play one of the small 4 players. We've got the Cliff as well. Let's play this one here. This is going to work against us with our guns, but we'll see how we can go with this. And so the scenario is we've got different scenarios we can do. We've got control, we've got annihilation. So we've got control is to control points around the battlefield and have access to those. The center flag is to control essentially a center flag. I think we've got capture the flag, which means we have to go and I think we have to bring it from the center back out again, which none of these are going to really work. The center flag, Maybe, but I think Annihilation, let's just go and play Annihilation in this instance. We also have Tug of War as well, and Station Capture. There's heaps of different ways of playing the game, with different objectives when you come into the battlefield. Let's just play Annihilation, that's nice and simple. So we'll just go and do that one. But each one of these has then got its own, like capture the flag, you know, victory points, how many victory points you need, center flag, again, victory points, control, back and through that side, the different scores and like the points that you need for that one. Station capture is just going to be literally trying to go and capture a station. And I don't know if the small craft can do that. That's why I don't really want to do it that way just yet. We've got Tug of War, but we'll just go Annihilation, which means we have to try to destroy the fleet to the point where it can no longer really operate. So we're going to go in, and the way it's sort of going through is this is now a new thing in the game, is to actually have the level of CPU that you're going up against. And so I'm going to, of course, make this easy. I know how to use guns, and that's it. So it's midshipman me against easy AI, and I can set them up as well. Like I can actually sort of change the change different aspects of this as well. So I can actually kick the player, view the profile, but this is just a CPU. So this is sort of more geared up for as if it was something that as if it was a multiplayer. Now, one thing that I would strongly suggest that you do if you are starting to sort of play the game is add more players. So add CPUs into this so that you end up with more in the actual game itself, but we won't do it in this instance because I don't want it to go on for too long. But if you do it, you then go in with a team game where you actually have your group against an AI group. And you'll find that if you do play multiplayer, you will end up having different roles depending on the type of ships that you're bringing in. So the really good players will actually look at the composition of what people are bringing in and think, okay, we need this or we need that. We might need a whole lot of frigates that do something, or we might need a carrier because there's no one that's got the carrier. The idea of the carriers is that they stay at the back of the battle and allow their small craft to do the fighting. That's really what they're there for. So when we come into this battle, we're going to be coming in with a view to wiping out those small craft first before we go after the carrier, as much as we can anyway. So we're going to have a no limit time limit. We're going to have uniform team factions is going to be okay. We do actually have the 3,000 points each. I'm going to change this one. If I'm going to click on battle group, I'm going to go to the Protectorate, and I will actually go to that big CV, the big Amethyst Squadron, back and through there. So heaps of small craft will be coming our way. And so I'm just going to go confirm. Now, I could actually add other CPUs and really sort of try to find some sort of balance. And that would be a fun way to play it. Anyway, we'll just do it this way. So the cliff is a smallish area. Let's get started. Now, when we first come in, we have to decide the angle that we're coming into the actual fight. And now, there's a few keyboard shortcuts that you're going to be wanting to know. Now, the first thing that we have is a situation where we have like a circle, an entry circle coming into this particular asteroid. And we have to sort of think, I probably really want to be on just coming over this lip through here. I think would actually be fairly useful. The enemy, we're going to have salvos of missiles we're going to have to sort of control at some point, but I think we'll just come in this way. And so what you do is you grab your deployment group, and you can have multiple of them, you just don't really know. I'm just going to go and hit the top of this little area through here. So I'm just going to be aiming a little way off. That's all we need to do. We just go deploy. Here they come. Now they're decelerating as they come in. So that's the Legionnaire as it sort of now moves in towards this big asteroid. You will then move across. The easiest way to control your movement in the game, it looks like it's very close, but it's actually not. We're miles away. I'm just going to grab the DAS Legionnaire, which is still connected in through here. I'm going to go and press space and bring up this one. This one makes it so much easier. When you come through an area, that is clipping through the same plane that we are on. So if I want to go up above in through here somewhere, so I'm just going to go across and press the M key for move. I'm just going to move across, and you can see it's actually like that would actually sort of hit that area. Let's just go into, say, here. Let's move it across that way. And so the ships will automatically start to move. Now, a few useful things to know. If I just press space, we go back into here again. It's so much easier using that screen to be able to do everything that you need to do in terms of loading things out. Now we don't know where the enemy is. They must be on the other side of the asteroid, of course. So we sort of just start to sort of head across that other side. And there are, if you press Control Space, that's going to then pause the time as we sort of had a look at the different things you can do. If you press Escape and go to Settings, have a look at some of the controls. Some of these are really quite useful like you got move to position, or you can just drive a course in a certain direction if you're wanting to. Orbit a position or orbit track. I'm not sure what the track is, to be honest, so I've forgotten all these things. What are some of the other ones? Hold heading, which will sort of point your ship in a certain direction. Now we will be wanting to do that one a bit side on, but we'll see how we go. The other thing by having a broadside is when the missiles come, we're going to be a much bigger target. So it may be better to be front on. We still will have... Actually, no, I'll see how I go. I've got much more control. Even 3/4 on will actually be good. Clear the heading and roll. All stop is left and space. Lock target is X. Which we won't be able to identify the target for quite some time, to be honest. What are some of the other good ones that are useful? Focus hovered selected object is a really useful one. That's F in through there. C, where's C? I think it might be further up the top here somewhere. Camera truck down. E is camera truck up. That's sort of okay. You've got WASDs as well. So that's your WASD and then E and C, just to go through your Z plane. So they're sort of like useful little controls that you can sort of go and do it. Just go and cancel that one out. As I say, spacebar to get into the planning mode, which is actually super good. Let's just go and resume. And also, when you have a unit selected, you can right-click it, and it brings up a whole lot of other information. And so a lot of those things are in here as well. Now, lock is mainly for missiles, so you won't really get an option to do that. Burn through sweep, I don't know what that is. Reload all weapons, prioritize point defense, launch decoys if you've got missiles coming in towards you, and you have decoys, which we don't actually have. Electronics warfare. Actually, one thing I will do, actually, no, I'll keep it, time is frozen. Let me unfreeze time. I'm going to turn off my radar on the Legionnaire, and also I'm going to receive only on the comms. So we're just going to keep it that way. These guys are still connected. If I right-click again, I do have weapons, and at the moment they've got like a heap of armor-piercing shells, front and rear. I've designated, I didn't show that, but you can designate what groups of weapons are firing as particular parts of what you're actually then going to be doing. Other things we've got is under movement, we have all those things. Orbit, position, which is just the M key. Driving a course, the heading, the roll. All these things will become important as we get into it. And ideally, the game will try to sort of position the ships where it thinks that they need to be. I'm a little bit concerned about popping my head over this region here. Let's have a bit of a look and see. But it is so much easier just to press space and then sort of come back into it. So we are sort of just going, like where we're travelling, we're sort of going in with our broadside on. Sort of firing up these other sides here, which is sort of okay. I might just change my heading, so I'm just going to go and press H, and I'm just going to go and follow that one there. I think. Commander. It should rotate. We're sort of, this is the front of the ship here, by the way. Aha! Now, here we go. We're going to start to see different things. They're 7.5 kilometers away, and we've got multiple tracks. They're unknown, so we've just picked up something. They'll also pick us up as well. In fact, we'll see it in through here. The Legionnaire has not been seen yet, but we've now been tracked. The cutter has been tracked by the enemy. They've actually seen us in through this other side. So what I could do here would be to position my so the cutter has just come around the corner. It's got all of its radar still operating, which is sort of what we want it to do. I might reposition that just on this other side here a little bit. So let's actually now, if we give it a movement order, if I just go again into space, it's so much easier doing it this way. If we go into M, and if I move this one maybe just down this way a little bit, if I press Control See how it's going to come down through the level? I can actually sort of bring it down just below that lip. So say into around about here somewhere. Let's just go and do that. We can always get them to come back up again. And then we'll get the Legionnaire to, and we'll move that one as well. And we'll just press the control and just move it a little bit ahead of where the other one actually is. So just in there somewhere. And let's just wait for the enemy craft to arrive. Okay, so one thing I didn't show was this is the damage control. We'll look at this when we start to take hits, and I will pause the game as we do this, just so you can sort of see what actually happens. Just so you're aware, these are damage control lockers in through here with teams, repair teams in these areas. We need multiple. We've got some in there as well to be able to go through the ship and repair what's around them. So very, very important. And we will definitely be taking some damage here. So let's wait and see what actually happens through this other side. So we're tracking that one. Here comes the small craft.
Standing by. Aye, aye.
Change the headings.
Traffic. Get it done.
Yeah, we've now been picked up by the radar here. So they will start to come through and look to launch their missiles against us, and we'll have to then use our point defense.
Aye, Commander.
Just trying to change the heading. This one's in the right position for its point defense. If I hover there and just press F, I'm going to zoom in on this on the cutter. So we've got point defense there and there, which is fine. This one's just coming in underneath it. I think I'll turn the radar back on again because we've been seen now, so there's no real point. They're going to come in close in behind here.
Missiles on the scope.
Here we go. Now, there goes our point defense. Some of it's hitting the top of the asteroid, and the other ones are coming in to try to hit. I don't know if I press F, yeah, I can sort of start to target these missiles. We're seeing a missile there actually physically. Let's have a look and see what happens in through here. If we go control space, so they're coming in towards our ship. And if any of them get through, it's going to hurt. Now, we got rid of all of them. Let's just pause there. That's the first round. In fact, no, one of them actually hit our ship. So we do actually have a hit that came in on the actual ship itself, which is a bit of a problem. We're trying to move our heading around if we can. These are bombers that came through. This is the first group of bombers that actually reached where we are. If I just press F in through there, you can start to sort of see these little guys. They're now moving back to go and pick up more missiles. So they've actually come in, and they'll go back now to the homecraft to try to reload more missiles. There's going to be a much bigger group. There's only a small group of bombers in through there. Let's just go back to the Legionnaire, just popping itself over through here. We'll just go F and come back in this side. So what's actually happened here is we've got this is the Legionnaire. It got hit in the back of the halfway down, and if we go and have a look at the damage that's been done to it, we can see two different things, or for a number of different things. In fact, what we can actually have a look at. In fact, before we do that, if you have a look at the Legionnaire through here, as you can see through there, we've been tracked by enemy sensors. We've got armor piece. Look, this is all those different shells that we actually have. We've used up some of the slugs. We use up 5% of our actual our point defense slugs. We do have one fire on board somewhere. This is just how we can quickly see things. Now, module, the fire suppression system is actually on fire, and one of the point defense cannons has also got an atmospheric leak. And if we go back and click on this one and have a look at the actual into this area through here, we can see the fire suppression system with the fire in it. The rescue teams they're trying to sort of work on this if they can, and we've actually now got the atmospheric leak in through here in this area through this other side, where there'll be other teams going in to try to go and fix that one up. So that's sort of where we are with everything in through there. I can order an evacuation and abandon the ship, which we're not going to do, of course, at this point in time. But everything is still working fairly well in through this other side. We took some damage up through here. This is the frontline radar. It's down to 48%, and we also had the damage control locker at 55%. So that's all fine. I'm going to just allow them to just do their job. I can sort of give them priorities, but in this case, I'm actually happy enough for them to do what they're doing. Just escape that out of that one. And so there should be another wave of them coming fairly soon. In fact, you can see there that there's only about 5 of them or so in that first group, and they did a fair bit of damage just in that first salvo. Let's just unpause. I just want to make sure that we've got all the point defense where they can actually cover the ship initially. Where's the cutter?
Reporting.
Oh, it's up above. And we just need to sort of keep it a bit protected. The ship's up above. Let's not rush. We don't have to rush. We can sort of hide a little bit in here.
Ready. Aye, Commander.
Just position that one so we get the get it facing in that direction.
Send traffic.
We will actually just go in place. And if I go press control, I can then just sort of move this one down a little bit.
Helm, take us in.
Here we go. Picking up another wave, a big wave of them this time. I might just change this one.
On it.
I don't know if we can see this. If I just press F on these. There we go. They're now firing missiles. Yes, they are.
Inbound. Incoming enemy fire.
And we're not going to get them all.
Standing by.
Well, we got most of them actually. That was pretty good. And we're actually now dealing damage on these actual fleets of ships. So that was good. All right, we've weathered another round, and if we have a quick look at the at what's going on there again, we can then just sort of see that fire has been suppressed now. The teams are sort of repairing what they have. Nothing is completely knocked out, which is actually really, really good. Now that may be all. If that's all, we're doing extremely well by hiding in behind here for this first round. It looks like that must be the main ship. So let's now go after this. What we need to do is we need to go back in, and if I just right click, move, I want to actually go and form up. So this is form with ship. I want it to form with that ship, and I want it to be off to the side here, or even slightly behind it.
Lead on.
So just do that. That way it's going to be in position when we start to sort of then move through it. Then goes back in underneath the Legionnaire.
Send your traffic.
Let's go up now. Just press space again, and we'll start to work our way across to where the big ship actually is. So now just going to go across to M, and we're going to go, that's actually exactly where the ship actually is. Let's just go to here, press control, and go up. And so we'll just go sort of close to where it is. Oh, God, I love this game. It's just got so much good stuff in it. I'm trying to protect the cutter to a large degree. Now, having the radars on, I think, helps with the point defense. So that will now move around. And when it sees it, as in when it actually gets lock on it, it will then target it. Now there could be other fighters still in, like this. Could be others. Well, there definitely will be more small craft. I mean, we got rid of a fair few, but that was not all of them. I think that they were sort of like more like interceptors that we just got just then, but they were still firing missiles. Here they come. Here they come. Now this is B. This would be bombers. Okay, we're going to change what we're doing again. M. I'm just going to go sideways because will they fire it yet again? There's still, yeah, there's heaps of them. Oh, it's not actually heaps, but
Spiker detected.
missiles coming. This will be the problem. Here come the missiles.
They're shooting at us.
Just stop them before they hit. Okay.
Module offline.
Yeah, we've got rid of most of them that came in behind. Okay, let's quickly pause there because now we've taken a lot more damage. So when we have a look at the damage control, we've got fires now raging. We've got 4 fires. We've got different fires in through that's telling us where the fires are, and then we've got disabled components, and we've actually now lost the radar panel. Compartment 3 rapid damage control locker is out. Mount 6, the point defense is out. Sorry, I keep getting interrupted. We've got reinforced magazines are now sort of taking problems. We've got what's this one? Repair teams back into there. Anyway, it's that was a fairly big attack that did come in. Yeah, we're getting issues across the whole of our force. The cutter is still fine, which is actually good because that's a very easy one for it to be taken out very, very quickly. Just press escape. And now if we have a quick look at these guys and just press F again and just zoom in, I'm not seeing exactly where they are, but they all fired their missiles, so we can't visually see them yet, but we know that they're there. And so they're off doing their own thing. I'll just press F back up in here again. That way we'll just keep this one coming. Let's go back to M again and keep on now rolling through towards the actual target, which I'm assuming is up here. There's still more bombers. They may be the first lot of bombers that are moving backwards. Just go to space and move. Hang on, Legionnaire. Move, and I'm just going to again just go back towards where that one actually is at the back, and then we're going to go up. These are all down, by the way, so these are all below us. This one is above us for whatever reason. So we'll just move, we'll sort of split the line there, control, just to go up to about the same sort of level, and let's just move our way. If these don't have missiles, we don't have to worry about them. They're not really a big concern. Okay, so control space. You can actually play the whole game just in this mode if you wanted to. That could be it as well. Not sure what the difference is between this one and the other one. That's why we'll sort of split the difference here a little bit. We're losing sight of them. So we've got one fire on. Okay, we've got 5 panels, which are 4 that are destroyed. Again, you can just see everything happening with your whole fleet, with what's going on. This is coming in onto the side. Maybe this one at the back, for all we know. Just keep things going. This is giving us an indication as to where we're travelling. Eventually, we'll get a target that is big enough for us to start firing our cannons, and we'll start to see it through here. So we've lost 1 point defence.
Spiker, spiker, spiker.
All right. So now we have more ships coming in. So let's just go and press space and see what we're dealing with. So we've got more missiles. These are spearfish rockets coming in against the front of the ship. So this could actually hurt us quite badly. The ship will try to orient itself to get the best firepower against whatever it's actually doing. It's a bit convoluted the way it does that. I don't fully understand how or why that actually happens, but let's actually watch as these missiles come in. Good. Got them all. Excellent. Okay, that worked out well. So we're now, we're going through all of the various fighter craft. What is that up the top there? Again, I think it's easier to do it from here, really. Just watch what is actually happening here. There's only 3.5 bit meters away now. We're not firing on it yet. maybe further back. I'm going to press M and just go straight through towards here somewhere,
Moving now, Command.
because that's too close. Sort of find which one's the actual
Spiker,
carrier.
spiker, spiker.
Here they come again. And we're dealing with these missiles fairly well.
Back.
Getting lots of pings, so nothing has got through yet. Oh, hang on, what's that? No, that's just a small craft. That's nothing. All right, so we went after the wrong one. So that one we can ignore. It's the one at the back. It's the one at the back. It's down low. So we'll just go down low as well. M. Go into the middle of them through here, because they really can't hurt us much now. And we'll just head on down low. That way we'll sort of end up getting... Now they're probably going to start to hide around this small asteroid, I would guess. Eventually we'll make sense of whatever the main ship actually is. I think that was just a skiff. We can sort of see it through there. Now I'm not sure if they can land and reload, and if they do that, that could be some problems for us. God, it's a good game. It is such a good game. But even if push comes to shove, we've actually we've weathered the first storm of the different missiles. Yeah, there's more coming in. But where is the big ship? It could even be the one that's underneath here. Comes more. Yes, they're reloading all the time.
Under attack.
But the point defense is doing a great job here. The cutter is essentially not injured at all. Now the carrier itself doesn't get the chance to really do much. I've got a feeling the carrier might be back in here somewhere. I'll continue on. I don't know what it is that's down here. We may have visuals in here. Not yet.
Lock on warning.
Some more coming. Here comes a
Lock on warning.
another one.
We're being locked up.
When we see it, we will start to open fire. So I'm thinking it's back in here somewhere. It will be reasonably maneuverable as well. Yeah, no, we're starting to. I think we're starting to see the various craft now.
Being targeted. We're being locked up. Spiker inbound.
Here we go. More missiles. They're gone.
Brace for impact.
More missiles. Okay, we've dealt with them effectively with our point defense. Oh, there she is. There she is. All right, so now we actually have the carrier itself was hiding behind the asteroid, and we just couldn't see it. And so now we actually have their target, and we're going to start to find that our guns will start to target this one when we can. So we're actually now coming in towards. So it was hiding down. If I just press F, I'll just go into this. So it's unscathed. You can see it's got landing bays in through there, and we're going to see that there's going to be different craft now coming in to land. Let's just let it continue on. It's landing. It will then refuel or replenish. There's another one underneath as well, and so they're just going to keep on coming in and loading up the missiles. So we need to fire at this thing as fast as we can. So I'm just going to with the Legionnaire selected. I can press X and try to target it.
Get closer.
It's just not quite. We don't quite have the angle yet, but we're coming in correctly. I'm just going to go and with the cannons that we have, if I just press F up through here and just track this one back again. There we go. We're now sort of we're hitting the small craft as they come off this thing, but we're not firing with the big cannons yet. Otherwise, we'll see them coming in here. I'm just going to go and right click on this one, go to weapons. I'm going to go to the front. I'm just going to choose the choose what we're doing and just fire at this ship. Actually, it's not going to do it. It's not going to ship it. It should actually just automatically do it.
Aye, Commander.
Yeah, that's battle short. I won't worry about that one so much. Point defense. I love this game. God, it's good the way it's doing it. So we're hitting all of these different things with our point defense, but we really need to hit it with our main weapons. And as I say, I'm a bit rusty with how to do this. I said I knew how to use guns. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Just press F here. Have a bit of a look and see. Yeah, these aren't targeting that ship at all. And normally it would just be a matter of X and then target, but in this case it's just not going to do it. So if I press X, it says warning too far.
That's out of range, Commander.
But it's actually not. Like, it's only 1.2 kilometers away. So if I can't check those ones. It's got to be the weapons. And if I got the armor piercing shells. Oops, hang on. That's not what I want. Don't know if that will do it.
We're almost out of ammo.
Getting rid of the small craft. Are you firing at it yet? No, we're still not. Try it one more time. Because it should automatically be firing. And I feel like I've done something incorrect. Weapons control. Controls the ability to release weapons. Set to hold to be able to issue the ship targeting orders without actually firing. Weapons will bear on target. I'll just try that one to hold, and I'll just go X. It says warning too far, but it's not too far at all for the actual weapons that we have. We're now under a kilometre. So we should be able to absolutely smash this thing. That should be our target. Just go to tight. Just go free. It should be firing. Come on, game. What are you doing to me? I can change between armor piercing. If I just go back to here again. That's the order that we're going. I'll just start to... it's not going to do it there. That will start firing down in that location, but it's not going to be. That won't be targeting the actual ship itself. And I apologise. I really don't know. Oh, there we go. Target. That might be it. It's missing actually. Let's just see what actually happens here. So they're coming in, firing front on track. In front on track. Try that again. It's nice. It's doesn't want to play. See what happens here. Like if I just unpause it. The guns are pointing down. Not hitting the correct one. I'm trying to target. So we're really just getting the small craft as they come off this ship. Yeah, so we're targeting the wrong thing. I'm not sure what I'm done wrong here. Sorry guys, I'll just pause again. I'll try it with the cutter, which has got the big laser in the front. Just see if that actually works.
Standing by.
So I'm missing the shoot because I'm actually firing on position here, rather than firing on the actual weapon itself. Now these have got headings. Move. Let's clear the headings. So we've done that one.
Standing by.
We're just missing all the time here.
Ready. Incoming enemy fire. We're gonna need to get closer.
This is so wrong. This is not the way it works. So we're just missing with because I manually had set the weapons.
Firing on that target.
So I'm now missing the other side. I'm useless at this. Sorry, guys.
Engaging.
Even the cutter is actually not going to use this either.
Send traffic.
Low ammunition.
Leave the heading. Okay, we're starting to do some damage now in this. There's another one coming out. Point defense should take that one out. And I can't remember how on earth to get rid of these things. I have to pause again and just see what I'm doing wrong. There we go. What I've got to do is I've got to have this selected. I've then got to right click on the target, go to weapons, and actually then click on whichever one it is. And we'll then get new... no, now it's the opposite again. Click on that one. Click on weapons. No, click on weapons. This is still the Legionnaire. It's still not doing it. Oh my god, it did it with the first one. It did it on the track. So the number of this thing is 2978, I think it is. And if we have a look at the actual, what we've got one that's firing front on track 2978, which means it's actually tracking exactly where it has to go. It's the rear that's the problem. And the firing rear is, I'm just going to ditch that one. I'll try it again. Weapon. Rear. That's got it. So now they're both firing on tracks. So they will now both target that one. I'm going to do the same with the cutter as well. Weapon. Nope, that's still not it. Weapon. No, it's just not going to do it. All right, we'll just watch anyway as the other thing now starts to pummel it, because this now should be successful. And I won't play it for too long, but we'll just so you get the idea anyway. This is probably even enough. Let's just let it go. So we'll now be firing at it pretty much all the way through. So we're now smashing through the hull of the enemy ship. So we're just breaking our way through here. Another small craft is now coming out. It will try to get to safety.
Brace for impact.
There we go. Point defense, can't quite get through. So it's now going to try to get under the lip of what's actually happening through there. But look, I'll leave it here because I think that you get the idea now. This is an incredible game, like just an amazingly good game. And we've sort of wiped out everything that I had. So if I just press escape and just go into exit to main menu, I'll just go confirm. It will then give me a rundown of what actually happened, and we can see the damage that was then done. So the cutter was fine. The Legionnaire took that little bit of damage. And we can see there a rating, like its efficiency was good. The anti-ship warfare, it was poor with its sensor warfare, which we sort of had set it up that way. Excellent in terms of missile defense. It really did a good job with the point defense, and it was good in terms of efficiency. Now, we didn't get to fire all that much. We've got the cannon with the high explosive, the armor piercing back and through there. Yeah, we expended 9% of our armor-piercing cannons, 48 hits, accuracy 92%. So that was pretty cool as well. So we can sort of get a full rundown of each of the actual ships. The cutter itself was terrible with the sensor warfare, terrible in through there. Yeah, so it was bad with everything that it did. So we might look at sort of changing that up in some sense. If we have a look at the enemy forces, We can then sort of see a bit of the damage. So we actually did do damage at the back end there against these components. We didn't do a lot of damage anywhere else. So this thing was still very, very functional with what actually did go on. The I think we got rid of all of the actual the craft carried 20, lost 15, carried 32, lost 30, carried 6, lost 6. Yeah, so we got rid of the vast majority of the actual ships that they actually had on board. And so when they actually came in, they really didn't have a lot that they could do. So anyway, that's just the, it's an incredibly good game, like incredibly good game. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So yeah, look out for the next big update. It's really going to be the key. Please like and subscribe if you like this sort of content. I do plan on doing more as I learn the game, you know, more deeply. It's a game, as I say, that's got a very, very steep learning curve, but really quite rewarding to play it. So I'll catch you next time.